The world is not governed by the most intelligent people. It is not led by the kindest, the most gifted, or the most disciplined. Look carefully at who actually holds influence. Those at the top operate with a different internal system entirely. You were taught that intelligence means memory, logic, and problem solving. That definition was designed for workers, not rulers. It keeps people efficient, obedient, and replaceable. Real power relies on a different form of cognition, a colder one, a darker one. Dark intelligence is the ability to perceive the unseen forces driving human behavior. It is the capacity to hear what is being communicated without words, to detach from the need for approval, and to shape outcomes instead of reacting to them. Most people drift through life unconsciously, driven by emotions they cannot name and influenced by dynamics they do not recognize. They believe they are players, but they function as pieces on someone else's board. If you often feel outmaneuvered, overlooked, or confused by how less capable people rise while you remain stagnant, understand this: you are not losing because you lack talent. You are losing because you were never taught the real rules. This is not a discussion about morality. It is a discussion about survival. Niccolo Machiavelli was not evil. He was realistic in a world that preferred comforting illusions. He understood that the distance between how people claim they behave and how they actually behave is where naive individuals are destroyed. You have been honest. You have been open. You have tried to be good. And in return, you have received betrayal, fatigue, and invisibility. That pattern ends here. What follows are not motivational ideas. They are operational principles, psychological tools designed to dismantle manipulation and establish internal sovereignty. Once these patterns become visible, they cannot be unseen. You will recognize power games in relationships, silent hierarchies at work, and vulnerabilities within yourself that were previously hidden. If you are attached to being a victim, leave now. For those who remain, understand that awakening has a cost. The first principle is selective silence. Most people speak to escape discomfort. Silence forces self-confrontation, and that terrifies them. So they explain, justify, and overshare. In doing so, they expose their internal structure. Predictability makes a person manageable. Power begins when speech becomes intentional instead of compulsive. Words are not emotional relief, they are instruments. Those who speak constantly spend information. Those who listen collect it. Silence creates psychological pressure. Humans instinctively fill empty space, and when they do, they reveal motives, fears, and strategies without realizing it. Stop defending yourself. Stop clarifying unnecessarily. Stop volunteering opinions. When others cannot read your position, they hesitate. Hesitation creates leverage. Silence is not passivity, it is control. The second principle is strategic amorality. You were trained to evaluate everything through moral categories, fair or unfair, good or bad. This framework weakens perception. Reality does not operate on ethics. It operates on cause and effect. A predator is not immoral. A storm is not malicious. They function according to necessity. When you moralize events, you personalize what should be analyzed. Offense wastes energy. Analysis creates options. When someone moves against you, remove emotion. Ask why. Identify incentives. Map leverage. Decide the response that benefits you most. This does not require abandoning ethics. It requires preventing ethics from blinding you. Good intentions without power do not create virtue, they create victims. Ask yourself this once and remember it. What does this situation allow me to do next? The third principle is controlled vulnerability. A common mistake is believing power requires emotional coldness that creates resentment. People attack what feels inhuman. True intelligence displays calculated imperfection. A minor weakness, a harmless flaw, something that lowers defenses. This triggers trust and familiarity. Others feel safe. They relax. They underestimate. While attention is drawn to what you choose to reveal, what matters remains protected. Never expose your core. Offer a decoy. The fourth principle is the mirror. Most people are obsessed with themselves. They do not want to know you. They want to see themselves reflected. Stop trying to impress. Reflect instead. Match emotional tone. Use their language. Validate their perspective without surrendering your own. When people see themselves in you, attachment forms automatically. This is not deception, it is observation. While they perform, you study. Their values, insecurities, and triggers become visible. A mirror has no ego, and because of that, it controls the room. Before moving forward, consider this question carefully. How often have you tried to be understood instead of simply being observed? The fifth principle is outcome independence. Desire creates anxiety. Anxiety signals need. Need repels power. When you want something desperately, others sense it, and whoever needs less holds the advantage. Outcome independence does not mean apathy. It means preparation without attachment. You act fully, but you accept loss in advance. When you can walk away, negotiations shift, standards rise, fear dissolves. If someone knows you are afraid of losing them, they control you. When that fear disappears, balance returns. Visualize the worst-case scenario. Accept it mentally. You will discover that survival does not disappear with loss. The person who fears nothing negotiates from abundance. The sixth principle is the useful enemy. Avoiding conflict weakens perception. Resistance sharpens intelligence. Opposition reveals flaws. Pressure creates focus. Without challenge, stagnation sets in. History is shaped by friction. Rivalries forge excellence. Enemies provide direction. Their resistance becomes fuel. Their doubt confirms ambition. A shared adversary also unifies groups faster than any ideology. Do not fear opposition. Curate it. Let it refine you. The seventh principle is the persona. You are not one fixed identity. You are adaptable structure. Authenticity is often misunderstood. Unfiltered behavior is not honesty. It is lack of control. Different environments require different expressions. Authority demands firmness. Intimacy requires warmth. Strategy demands restraint. This is not deception. It is calibration. Use the appropriate mask. Discard it when necessary. Flexibility is survival. The eighth principle is necessary suspicion. Trust is not default. It is earned and continuously tested. People act in self-interest. Even generosity often serves internal needs. Accepting this truth prevents betrayal. Watch actions. Words are inexpensive. Behavior is costly. Verify incentives. Test reliability with small stakes before offering larger ones. Awareness is not cynicism. It is protection. The ninth principle is integration of the shadow. You are capable of destruction. Denying this makes you naive. Repressed darkness does not disappear. It leaks through resentment and sabotage. Strength comes from acknowledgement and control. When you know your capacity for harm and choose restraint, that is virtue. A harmless individual is not good. They are simply incapable. True power is peaceful by choice, not by weakness. When you integrate your shadow, fear loses its grip. You recognize manipulation because you recognize it within yourself. These principles are not instructions. They are lenses. You will now notice silence that communicates, vulnerability that deceives, and power that hides behind politeness. You are no longer unaware. The final question is this: are you prepared to live without illusions once you understand how the game is played? If this perspective challenged you, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. The exploration does not end here. This was only the surface.